Astrophysicists traced 3I Atlas back to its origin. What they found is chilling. Scientists on 3 continents are doing calculations. These calculations shouldn't be possible. They rewind time, frame by frame, year by year, century by century. They follow the cosmic visitor backward through interstellar darkness. What they found breaks astronomy rules. It shatters our understanding of reality. We spent 4 decades studying cosmic secrets. We researched black holes and parallel universes. What I will share today frightens me more than anything in my career. When you trace 3I Atlas back to its origin, the math screams. Science was never ready to hear this. The consequences will shake your world. Let me explain what's happening. The situation becomes more alarming with each layer peeled back. In early 2025, 3I Atlas entered our detection zone. Astronomers launched standard protocols immediately. They measured speed, calculated trajectory, and determined origin. This is the basis of astronomy. Every object in space leaves a trace. It's a cosmic fingerprint pointing back to its origin. Regular comets are simple. They return to the Oort cloud or Kuiper belt. These are predictable, icy debris clusters orbiting our sun. But 3I Atlas is different. Its hyperbolic trajectory immediately suggests interstellar origin. It moves too fast, at the wrong angle. It travels at a speed only possible from outside our sun's gravitational influence. What star system sent it? This is the obvious question. Here, scientists made their first chilling discovery. The Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics worked with the European Southern Observatory. They back-calculated, considering the sun's gravity, Jupiter, Saturn, and radiation pressure over millennia. They scrutinized 3I Atlas across the sky. They were detectives following fresh tracks in snow. All computer models pointed to the same place. It was a region 300 light-years away in Ursa Major. Bright, young stars ejecting rocky debris should be there. Supernova remnants scattering material should be there. An active stellar environment with energy to launch objects into interstellar space should be there. But there was nothing. Just empty darkness. A few dim red dwarfs, ancient dying stars, lacked the energy to form planets. Dr. Sarah Chen from MIT's Kavli Institute was direct. We are looking at an origin point that makes no statistical sense. Natural ejection mechanisms require an active stellar environment. They require violent events to accelerate matter to escape velocity. Either our stellar dynamic models are wrong, or this object isn't natural, she concluded. Let that sink in. It gets worse. Researchers noticed something that made their hands tremble. 3I Atlas wasn't moving in a straight line. The trajectory curved slightly, but noticeably. These curves occurred where nearby stars' gravity should have altered the path differently. Something compensated for these gravitational disturbances. Think about what that means. A natural object, ejected billions of years ago, would move chaotically. Its trajectory would be determined by gravitational momentum. Every close encounter with a star would change that trajectory. Over hundreds of thousands of years and light years, these deviations would create a wandering path. It would be a cosmic drunkard through the galaxy. When scientists calculated 3I Atlas's trajectory, if it were passive, the predicted trajectory didn't match reality. The differences are small, a few angular degrees across vast distances. But they are statistically significant and consistent. The object adjusted its course. Subtle changes guided it toward our solar system. Avi Loeb analyzed this data. His reputation for mathematical precision is solid. He calculated the odds of a natural object from that empty region arriving in our solar system on its observed trajectory. The odds are 1 in 50 million. Not impossible, but suspicious. It's shuffling a deck and drawing a royal flush 5 times in a row. It might be possible, but you'd suspect the deck was rigged. And the timing. The timing is terrifying. 3I Atlas arrived in our solar system in 2025. Human civilization was facing something unprecedented then. For the first time, humanity had technology to reliably detect interstellar visitors. The P-STARS telescope network, which first spotted 3I Atlas, started in 2010. Before that, smaller interstellar objects flew through our system unnoticed. Our eyes have been sensitive enough to see these cosmic guests for only 15 years. That's a fraction of a percent of human history, a cosmic second. Yet, in those 15 years, we found 3 confirmed interstellar objects. Oumuamua in 2017, Borisov in 2019, and 3I Atlas in 2025. If these objects appeared randomly, distributed evenly over geological time, thousands of years should pass between detections. Dr. James Wheeler from Caltech's Jet Propulsion Laboratory specializes in statistical mechanics and trajectory analysis. His team ran Monte Carlo simulations. They considered millions of random interstellar object arrival scenarios over the past million years. In 97% of simulations, humanity detected 0 or 1 interstellar guest in our current technological window. The probability of detecting 3 guests within 8 years, from different directions, with different characteristics, is less than 1 in 100,000. Wheeler's unpublished analysis leaked to astronomy forums in early October. He concluded, "We are observing an extreme statistical fluctuation, bordering on miraculous, or there is a connection between our detection capabilities and these objects' appearance." The second explanation fits the data better. You are starting to see a pattern, but there's more. Researchers calculated when 3I Atlas began its journey. Based on speed and distance, the time frame is about 200 to 300 years ago. This aligns with a remarkable period in human evolution. 200 years ago, Homo sapiens emerged as a distinct species in Africa. We started developing symbolic thought and creating abstract art. We invented language complex enough to pass cultural information. We weren't technologically advanced, but our intelligence was evolving to create technology. We were crossing the threshold from simple biological organisms. We were becoming something capable of intentionally altering our environment. I want to be clear. I am not saying whoever launched 3I Atlas could foresee humanity's development 200 years in the future. That's absurd. Consider an alternative: constant monitoring. What if interstellar travelers send probes to developing civilizations, not as one-off missions but for constant observation? Send enough probes at the right time, and some will arrive when the species becomes technologically detectable. We would use this strategy to monitor intelligent life in the galaxy. Are we being watched? You wouldn't wait for a civilization to develop. The travel time is too long. By the time you arrive, the civilization might be gone. Instead, you would constantly be present. You would send waves of observation missions that continuously circle potential habitable star systems. Here, the analysis becomes alarming. Astronomers map the region where 3I Atlas seemed to originate. They notice something strange in that empty zone in Ursa Major. It isn't completely empty. There's a small cluster of brown dwarfs. These are failed stars that never gained enough mass for nuclear fusion. These objects are hard to detect because they emit little visible light. We only cataloged them recently using infrared surveys and gravitational lensing. Brown dwarfs are terrible candidates for planetary systems. They are too cold for life-bearing planets. They are too unstable to have habitable zones. But they have one interesting feature. They are almost invisible. If you wanted to establish a presence in the galaxy undetected, You'd need a base to launch missions to nearby star systems. A brown dwarf cluster would be ideal camouflage. You would be hidden. Ordinary astronomical surveys would deem the area uninteresting. You would be the perfect cosmic spy. I must stress there is no direct evidence of artificial structures or technological activity in this region. It's just speculation. But in science, speculation serves a purpose. It makes testable predictions. It makes us look closer at data we might otherwise ignore. The prediction is clear. If 3I Atlas came from the brown dwarf cluster, and it is a deliberately sent probe, we should expect more visitors from the same coordinates. The arrival pattern would show directionality. It would have a statistical clustering that wouldn't occur with a random distribution. Preliminary data indicates this pattern. Researchers examined the approximate origin vectors of Oumuamua, Borisov, and 3I Atlas. Considering their arrival times and the sun's movement, they found something unexpected. All three objects are within 30 degrees of each other in the celestial sphere. It's a narrow arc, a stream, not a random distribution. The probability of 3 random interstellar guests arriving from similar directions is about 1 in 1,000. Not impossible, but suspicious with the other statistical anomalies. It's watching 3 meteors streak across the sky on parallel paths. Technically possible if unrelated, but more likely if they're from the same parent body traveling together, or from a single source. In September 2025, Dr. Elizabeth Morrison from Oxford's Astrophysics Department published a controversial paper. It analyzed this clustering effect. Her findings provoked a strong reaction in the astronomical community. Her math is irrefutable. The observed arrival pattern is 47 times more consistent with directed launches than random ejections from multiple star systems. While not proof of artificial origin, it demands serious consideration, not hasty dismissal, she argued. 47 times more consistent with directed launches. The scariest aspect of studying 3I Atlas's origin isn't what we found, but what we didn't find. Despite intense searches with radio telescopes, infrared scanners, and gravitational wave detectors, we found no evidence of a civilization that could have created this object. No radio signals, no infrared traces of industrial heat emissions, no obvious megastructures blocking starlight. Nothing but silence stretching across vast distances. This silence carries a message. If 3I Atlas represents technology, if these interstellar visitors are artifacts, then whoever created them has mastered abilities beyond our understanding. They solved interstellar travel, possibly reaching speeds we consider theoretical. They created materials that can withstand hundreds of thousands of years in deep space. They developed energy sources that operate continuously on timescales that dwarf human civilization. A society with such technology would seem to us as we would to the ancient Romans. Not just advanced, but operating on principles so foreign, so unexpected, that we couldn't recognize their activities as technological. We look for radio signals and heat from industrial sites, because that's what our technology leaves behind. What if advanced civilizations don't expend that much energy? What if they manipulate space-time directly, work on quantum scales we can't detect, or use physics we haven't discovered? That's why 3I Atlas's origin is disturbing. It points to an intelligence developed enough to reach us. It's one carefully concealed enough to remain beyond our reach. It's observation without contact, monitoring without dialogue. This asymmetry, this fundamental imbalance of awareness, is the most psychologically unsettling revelation humanity can face. Throughout history, when one civilization encountered another with far superior technology, the less advanced society faced existential challenges. These challenges affected its worldview, social structure, and understanding of reality. The arrival of European ships fundamentally altered civilizations that couldn't imagine such vessels were possible. Now, imagine that dynamic on an interstellar level. In this scenario, we aren't the explorers. We're the islanders who see lights on the horizon. We know ships are coming, but we can't determine their intentions, origins, or capabilities. We are observed by something we cannot observe in return. We are studied by something that understands us better than we understand ourselves. We are specimens in a cosmic laboratory, and we just realized scientists are watching us through the glass. On October 29, 2025, 3I Atlas will reach perihelion, its closest point to our Sun. According to its trajectory analysis, this moment is the optimal position for what happens next. Whether it's gravitational capture, a probe launch, or continued observation from a new vantage point, we can't say yet. However, the math related to its origin suggests it didn't get here by chance. Think about the required precision. Launching something from 300 light-years away, timing its arrival to coincide with humanity's technological awakening, correcting its course for hundreds of thousands of years to account for stellar drift, gravitational disturbances, and cosmic evolution. The level of complexity is astounding. It isn't just advanced technology. It's mastery of space-time. Let me restate the facts. When you see them together, the pattern emerges. First, 3I Atlas originated in an empty region of space where interstellar objects shouldn't exist. Second, its trajectory shows course corrections, which natural objects don't do. Third, it arrived within the 15-year period when humanity first gained the ability to detect it. This is a statistical impossibility. Fourth, we have 3 interstellar guests in 8 years. We should expect one every 1,000 years. Fifth, the 3 guests arrived from the same direction. It was a targeted stream, not a random distribution. Sixth, the arrival date correlates with humanity's cognitive development. Seventh, nearly invisible brown dwarfs are at the point of departure. This is perfect camouflage for observation stations. Each fact alone could be explained as coincidence. Together, they are not coincidence. It's purposeful coordination. Coordination implies intent. Intent acting over hundreds of thousands of years and across hundreds of light years implies capabilities that should both frighten and fascinate us. The universe sent us a guest. When we traced it back, we found nothing but darkness, statistical impossibilities, and implications that question everything we thought we knew about our cosmic solitude. Whether 3I Atlas is natural or artificial, whether its origin is chance or design, one truth remains: we are being watched. The observers appear as we become capable of observing in return. It's not a coincidence, it's coordination. The universe just sent us a message written in math and trajectories. The message is clear. You are not alone. You never were alone. And what is watching understands physics better than you ever will. 3I Atlas will emerge from behind the sun. We will finally learn if this cosmic detective story ends with a natural explanation or a revelation that fundamentally changes our understanding of what it means to be human in a habitable universe. Are you ready for first contact? Humanity is about to face its greatest test. The time is now. The guests are already here. The question is, what do they want? We are about to find out.